All right, so I went ahead and did another experiment because I thought, maybe I welded a little too hot yesterday because I said double this and it's, it's pretty thin material. So I went ahead and turned it down to 20, what it would call for a plug weld, 20. And you can see how proud this is. It was really cold. Now, the more of those you do, the more flat it's going to get, obviously, if you're on the same panel, because of the heat that's going into it. But it didn't really penetrate the backside. However, it did make this, nice little circle. So then I turned it up 1 to 18 gauge, which made a bigger heat zone, but flattened this bubble out quite a bit, or the weld, and it just barely distorted the back. And so let's test this and see how it compares to what we did yesterday. Let me look at the camera. Yeah. So here we go. Okay. Yeah, to me, I like what I did yesterday better. Did that tear? Yes, it did. So you can weld that at 20, but it just, here, let me grab the other one that I did with the more heat yesterday. That way you can see the difference, hopefully, between the two. You see what I'm looking at there? Let me take this out of these pliers so you can see through it. This one here is welding it at a 20 gauge level. This one here was welding it at twice the thickness, which was a 16 gauge level. And you can see how much more penetration, how much tore away versus that one. So then I turned this one up to 18 gauge. It just got a little bit of tear through, or just got a little penetration through the back. So my understanding, that's really what you want. You don't want a big bubble coming through because you can't really dress the back sides of these welds a lot of times. But you should be able to get to it to cover it in some way with some kind of product, internal frame, coating, whatever you're going to use. But I've done it wrong, so I'll be that guy. Don't care. Okay, yeah, that's ripping the metal away. Let's see how far it rips though, compared to the double. See if it rips similar too. I'll be real careful with this that way, but that's pretty nice. I'm liking that one. Now that's turned up to that was one notch above. Okay, it's starting to kind of tear away now. All right, so again, that's 7/32. I've got some over there that are 5/16 that we'll look at, but I bet you it tears the same way. So let's see, I don't want to get these confused. But yeah, you see, if you just use a 20 gauge setting and you're doing a plug weld I'm telling you, this copper makes a difference. You need to get your weld a little bit hotter to get through that. But you can see there the difference that you're going to have. And that was good. It didn't put a big bubble on the back. So for me, that's telling me that, let's see, that one was this one here, I think. And this one, nope. This one was that one there. And this one was this one. So these are all 7/32. But that's 7/32 at 18. Fairly flat weld. The heat zone was about the same as the heat zone was yesterday. All right, so let's take a look. I'm running 030 wire. So you come across the middle here to 20 and 22 gauge, and it's 4.5 and 30. Well, when I welded at that, you saw how it just barely tore away anything. Whether that means anything or not, I'm not a welder, professional welder, so let me know. I'm just looking at it going, what would I rather have on my car? This thing that just tears a little tiny patch or rips half the side of the car off because it doesn't want to let loose. So then I moved up to 18 gauge, which is 5 and 40, which did quite a bit better. It really actually did real close to what it did at 16 gauges, which was just what I did yesterday. But you can see the difference is the heat is the same, and the wire speed is only 5 more on 16 gauge versus on 18 gauge. So there's really not much of a difference between 16 and 18 gauge. And like I said, when you go up, you want to go up from this if you're using weld through primer, because it's just not gonna be a good weld. You want it a little hotter to get through that weld through primer, in my opinion. All right, guys.